The Burden of Boromir, a tale of the One Ring. In the ancient city of Minas Tirith, where the White Tower stood as a beacon of hope, Boromir, son of Denethor, gazed out from the battlements. The wind carried the scent of ash from the east, where Mordor's shadow grew ever darker. His heart was heavy with the burden of Gondor's survival. The people, farmers toiling in dwindling fields, soldiers weary from endless battles, children who knew only fear, looked to him for salvation. Boromir, their captain, felt the weight of an unwinnable war pressing upon him. His father, Denethor, sat in the steward's chair, his mind clouded by despair, leaving Boromir to bear the mantle of leadership alone. Each day brought reports of orc raids, of villages burned, of hope fading like a candle in a storm. A dream had come to him, as it had to his brother Faramir, in the quiet hours of the night. A voice, ancient and commanding, spoke of a riddle, a halfling, a ring, and a doom that hung over Middle-earth. Seek for the sword that was broken, it urged, in Imladris it dwells. Boromir was no scholar of lore, no lover of prophecies. He trusted steel and strategy, not riddles. Yet the dream stirred something within him, a spark of possibility that there might be a weapon to turn the tide against Sauron. Gondor's walls were crumbling, her armies stretched thin. If this ring was a tool of power, could it not be wielded to save his people? Thus, with his father's reluctant blessing, Boromir set out for Rivendell, his heart torn between duty and doubt. The journey to Rivendell was long and perilous, spanning leagues of rugged terrain. Boromir rode alone, his horse a sturdy beast bred for war. He crossed the plains of Rohan, where the Rohirrim eyed him with wary respect, and skirted the edges of Fangorn Forest, where ancient whispers made his skin prickle. The misty mountains loomed ahead, their peaks shrouded in mist. Bandits and wild beasts harried him, but Boromir's sword was swift, his resolve unyielding. At night, he camped beneath the stars, his dreams haunted by visions of Gondor in flames, of a golden ring that gleamed with promise. He wondered what awaited him in Imladris, the hidden valley of the elves, and whether this journey would bring salvation or folly. Rivendell was a place of unearthly beauty, its halls carved into the cliffs, its air scented with pine and blossoms. Boromir arrived weary, his cloak stained with the dust of the road. He was ushered into the council chamber of Elrond Half-Elven, where lords and sages gathered under an open sky. Among them were Gandalf the Grey, whose eyes held the weight of centuries, Aragorn, a ranger with a kingly bearing, Legolas, an elf of Mirkwood, and Gimli, a stout dwarf of Erebor. At the center of the gathering, upon a stone pedestal, lay the One Ring, its golden surface pulsing with a malevolent light. Boromir's breath caught in his throat. This was no mere trinket, it was power incarnate, a force that could reshape the world. Elrond's voice, calm yet resonant, recounted the ring's history. Forged by Sauron in the fires of Mount Doom, it had been the Dark Lord's greatest weapon, a tool to dominate all life. Betrayed by Isildur, who claimed it but failed to destroy it, the ring had passed through ages, from Gollum's wretched hands to Bilbo Baggins, a hobbit of the Shire. Now it rested with Frodo, a small figure who stood trembling before the council. Boromir studied the hobbit, his frail frame and haunted eyes. How could such a creature bear the weight of so great a burden? The ring's presence filled the chamber, its whispers tugging at Boromir's mind, promising victory, glory, Gondor restored. When the floor was opened to debate, Boromir rose, his voice steady but urgent. "This ring is a gift," he declared, his words ringing in the stillness. "A weapon sent to us in our hour of need. Gondor stands at the brink, her walls battered, her people dying. Why should we not use it? With the ring, we could drive back Sauron's armies, restore our strength, and bring peace to Middle-earth." His gaze swept the council, challenging their silence. Gandalf's eyes narrowed, and Aragorn's hand rested on his sword. Elrond's response was measured but firm. "The ring cannot be wielded by any save Sauron. It bends all wills to its own, corrupting even the noblest hearts." Boromir's fists clenched at his sides. "Isildur bore it," he countered, his voice rising. "He was a man, as I am. If the ring's power can be turned against its maker, why do we shrink from it? Are we so weak that we cannot master it?" A murmur rippled through the council, some nodding, others frowning. Gandalf's voice cut through the tension. "Isildur fell because of the ring, Boromir. It betrayed him, as it will betray any who seek to use it. Its only path is to Mordor, to the fires of Mount Doom, where it must be destroyed. Boromir sat, his mind a storm of defiance. He saw their wisdom, yet his heart cried out for Gondor. The council's decision was made, the ring would be destroyed, and Frodo would bear it to Mordor. A fellowship was formed, 9 companions to guard the ring-bearer. Boromir joined them, his heart conflicted. He respected Aragorn's skill and Gandalf's wisdom, but their refusal to consider the ring's potential gnawed at him. The hobbits, Frodo, Sam, Merry, and Pippin, were a curiosity, their resilience surprising yet their fragility a concern. Legolas and Gimli were skilled warriors, but their loyalties lay elsewhere. As they set forth from Rivendell, Boromir's sword was at his side, his shield slung across his back, but his mind was fixed on the ring, hidden beneath Frodo's cloak. The journey was grueling, testing the Fellowship's unity. They climbed the slopes of Caradhras, where snow and wind battered them mercilessly. Boromir, stronger than most, carried the hobbits through drifts, his breath steaming in the cold. Yet the ring's presence grew heavier with each step. Frodo stumbled often, his hand drifting to the chain around his neck. Boromir watched him, noting the weariness in his eyes, the pallor of his skin. The ring was a burden too great for one so small, he thought. At night, as he stood watch, visions came to him, Gondor's walls rebuilt, her banners flying, her people safe. The ring whispered, not in words but in promises. In the shadow of Caradhras, the Fellowship faltered. Snow buried their path, and Gandalf's magic could not prevail. Boromir's patience snapped. "We cannot continue like this," he said to Aragorn as they huddled in a makeshift camp. "The ring is a burden Frodo cannot bear alone. Let me take it, if only for a time. I am strong, Aragorn. I can shield him from its weight." Aragorn's gaze was steady, his voice low. "You know what the ring would do to you, Boromir. It offers strength but delivers ruin. Trust in Frodo, as we all must." Boromir turned away, his heart burning with frustration. Trust in Frodo? A hobbit who grew weaker by the day? The Fellowship descended from Caradhras, seeking passage through the mines of Moria. The dark halls of Khazad-dûm were a labyrinth of shadow and stone, their silence broken only by the drip of water and the echo of their steps. Boromir's hand never left his sword, his senses alert for danger. When the orcs came, led by a monstrous cave troll, he fought with ferocity, his blade cleaving through foes. But it was Gandalf's fall that shattered them. The wizard faced a Balrog, a demon of fire and shadow, and plummeted into the abyss. Boromir stood frozen, his mind reeling. Without Gandalf, who would guide them? The ring's whispers grew louder, urging him to act. Aragorn led them onward, his face grim. They emerged into the golden woods of Lothlorien, where the Lady Galadriel welcomed them. Her beauty was otherworldly, her eyes piercing. Boromir felt exposed under her gaze, as if she saw the conflict within him. That night, she spoke to him alone, her voice soft yet unyielding. "The ring tempts you, Boromir, but it is a false hope. It would make you a shadow of Sauron, not his conqueror." Boromir's jaw tightened. "And what of Gondor?" he asked. "Shall I let my people perish for fear of corruption?" Galadriel's eyes softened, but her words were firm. "Courage lies in resisting temptation, not yielding to it." The Fellowship departed Lothlorien, their boats gliding down the Anduin. Boromir's mood grew darker, his thoughts consumed by the ring. Frodo's burden was evident, his shoulders slumped, his eyes hollow. Boromir's heart ached for the hobbit, but also for Gondor. Each night, he sat apart, his mind wrestling with the ring's promises. Aragorn noticed his distance, but said nothing. Legolas and Gimli exchanged wary glances, sensing the tension. The hobbits, unaware of Boromir's struggle, chattered among themselves, their innocence a stark contrast to the darkness that loomed. At Amorn Hen, the Fellowship's unity unraveled. Orcs attacked, scattering the companions. Boromir found himself alone with Frodo, the ring-bearer's eyes wide with fear. Boromir approached, his voice gentle. "Frodo, you are weary. Let me help you. Give me the ring, and I will bear it to Gondor. With it, we can save your Shire, my city, all of Middle-earth." Frodo backed away, his hand clutching the ring. No, Boromir. It must be destroyed. Anger flared in Boromir's chest, fueled by the ring's whispers. Destroyed, he roared. And let Gondor fall? You are a fool, Frodo. He lunged, driven by a madness he could not name. Frodo slipped on the ring and vanished, leaving Boromir alone. He fell to his knees, tears streaming down his face. What have I done? He whispered. The ring's spell had broken, and shame flooded him. He had betrayed Frodo, betrayed the Fellowship, betrayed himself. His heart, so full of love for Gondor, had led him astray. As he rose, the sound of orcish horns pierced the air. Boromir drew his sword, his resolve hardening. He would atone for his failure, even if it cost his life. The orcs came in a wave, their blades gleaming. Boromir fought to protect Merry and Pippin, his horn ringing out in a desperate call. Arrows pierced his body, but he fought on, each blow a plea for forgiveness. His vision blurred, his strength fading, yet he stood his ground. When Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli arrived, it was too late. Boromir lay among the fallen, his breath ragged. I tried to take the ring, he confessed to Aragorn. I was wrong. Forgive me. Aragorn knelt beside him, his voice steady. You fought bravely, Boromir. Your heart was true. Rest now. With his final breath, Boromir whispered, Tell my father. I tried. His eyes closed, and the world faded. The Fellowship mourned him, their hearts heavy with loss. Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli sent his body down the Anduin in a boat, a warrior's farewell. Frodo and Sam continued their journey, the ring's burden heavier than ever. Boromir's death was a wound that lingered, a reminder of the ring's power to corrupt even the noblest hearts. In Gondor, word of Boromir's fall reached Denethor, who wept for his son. Faramir, his brother, bore the news with quiet grief, vowing to honor Boromir's sacrifice. The ring's journey continued, its fate uncertain. Frodo and Sam faced perils unimaginable, while Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli fought to rally the free peoples. Boromir's question lingered, could the ring have been wielded for good? Galadriel, offered the ring by Frodo, saw visions of herself as a queen, but refused. Gandalf, returned as the White, rejected its power. Aragorn, too, chose sacrifice over dominion. Boromir's perspective was not without merit. Gondor's plight was dire, her people dying under Sauron's shadow. The ring offered a swift end to suffering, a chance to strike at the enemy. Yet its promises were lies, its power a trap. Boromir's error was not in his love for his people, but in his belief that he could master a force designed to enslave. His struggle revealed the strength of his heart, his willingness to die for those he swore to protect. In his doubt, he embodied the human struggle, flawed, desperate, and fiercely devoted. The ring was destroyed, and Sauron fell. Gondor endured, her walls rebuilt under King Elessar, the man Boromir had doubted. Boromir's legacy was not failure, but courage. His tale became a song, sung by bards in the halls of Minas Tirith. He was not a traitor, but a hero whose heart faltered yet never broke. His question, was he right about the ring, was answered in fire and sacrifice. The ring's evil was absolute, but Boromir's love for Gondor was a spark that lit the way to victory, a testament to the enduring power of hope.